Three times it's taken me to make this video. Why? I've had this product for around 10 months. This is the Philips GamePix 900 gaming projector, 4K quality. We'll go through it in a minute, but I've had it since around February. It came out in April. This was on pre-launch. I had this since they even pre-launched. I made the content. It was a full-fledged, in-depth review, and what happened? They said, we've got none in stock. Hold up. Don't post it yet because you can't buy it in the UK or in Europe or wherever they said they can't buy it. I thought, okay, great, I've got a NAS system. I'll throw that video on there and leave it until they come back and say, let's get posting. They came back, didn't they? Let's get posted. I go on the NAS system. What happens? I forget that I had to switch the NAS system out because I updated it all wrong and I deleted the video. Gone. Kaput. So, last night, set it all up. Darkness. Projector on. Everything was going well, making the video, bosh, bosh, bosh. What happens? I look at the camera. Normally you've got these green lines that tell you the microphone's working like it is now. It wasn't on. It wasn't working. So I'm thinking, oh great, when did this die on me? Oh, only a minute into this half-an-hour video I've just recorded. So I'm like, great. So that's why it's the third time. The third time is a charm, and let's hope to God this video can just play out nicely. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Today we're looking at the GamePix 900 gaming projector. Now this is the 900, not the 800. There's two different versions. When this was on pre-sale, I think it was only around £400. Now this is finally out for sale. It's near the grand, so it's a bit of a beefy price jump. As you can see from the box here, that little sticker there says for sample purposes only. That's how long I've had it. Now when it comes to the unboxing, you do get quite an array of plugs. So this part here is like the laptop DC charging port bit, which obviously has the big block. As you can see here, it is labelled with UK. That is because it is a UK plug. I will say the UK plug is probably one of the most durable, strongest plugs you'll ever find. And then they still send you the two prong here. Don't know what country that's from, let me know in the comments. Again, the three prong, this one looks crazy. Another three prong, this is like a two prong and a middle prong. See that? I don't know what country they're from, but either way, you get four different plugs. Then you get your manual just telling you all the little features about this. Then your controller, which is very nice because this thing can be hanged on the wall and you can have it just connected via controller. Let's get this main thing out. This thing is a beefy boy. So I mentioned I've had this thing about 10 months now. The reason I haven't used it as much as what I really wanted to is the size of it. It is massive. It's not a short throw projector. It's one of the main projectors that you will have either gliding off of the wall or on a tripod like I do. As you can see, I've got a little tripod clamp on the bottom. That just helps with keeping it sturdy and in place. So when I made the first video, I actually did set this up on the big back wall here, and I had my sim rig set up on the floor and was playing Assetto Corsa on this massive like 100-inch projector screen, and I was in the car. It felt absolutely incredible, and the quality of the 4K just was so clear. I felt so immersed. I even played Hogwarts Legacy on there. I played a bit of CSGO. I connected it via the HDMI into the PC, but the gameplay, oh my god, it was so unreal to have such a massive screen. And the quality as well was insane. But anyway, so going over the actual device itself, on the top you've got your two little zoom and also focus rings. Now this is not an autofocus or auto ketone, is all done with either the controller or the manual focus rings here. There is no other buttons on this device apart from the on button. You do on the back though get your HDMI, USB, DC and a headphone jack. Although it has 5-watt speakers, you can obviously plug in your own sound system to get better audio. Although I find these speakers in here to be very loud. On number 2 is probably the perfect noise. You turn it any higher, this thing's blaring out. I had K-pop Demon Hunters on yesterday and it was loud, okay? Loud as anything, but definitely surprised me with the audio quality coming from this device. A few other little specs that are on the box before we throw the box over there. You've got 3 gaming modes. Now I will say this is dedicated for gaming, but you can use it again for all of your other movies, Fire Stick and so on. The gaming modes are action, adventure and sports. I think that might just be down to the color changes. As I mentioned, this is a 4K resolution with 1000 ANSI lumens, 240 Hz refresh rate, which is insane for a projector, and 6 milliseconds of low input lag. And I will say it definitely does live up to the name when playing games. The one thing that I always look for is if the audio syncs up to the voice. Been a few times where it's either, you know, a Bluetooth headset or another projector that I've tested. The audio doesn't sync up perfectly with the voice or the video. it's sort of delayed, where this is spot on. So I give it credit where it's due. The only downside is the size of this bloody thing. And also with it being that big, there is a bigger fan in here, so it doesn't get as hot, but the fan noise can get quite annoying. Only bonus is, because the volume of this is very loud, it can take over the sound of the fan. This can also be laid on a desk because you've got this little wheel at the bottom here. If you see, I unscrew that, that is a little foot stand. Now, while it's not the strongest of foot stands because it's all plastic, it does its job. That in there is your little projector. Now, the last thing as well, what they've added in here in the settings mode is that you can actually change the orientation. So if you have it on the ceiling, like so, you can change the orientation for it to be frontwards, upside down, and it will project how it should do. So my plan is one day we can get this on the ceiling and get a pull down projector screen so we can have movies in bed, which would be nice to have on a projector. And another thing that I want to mention, which was the part I said about which really sold this for me, is the fact that that USB is a power outlet as well. So I had the Fire Stick, the Amazon Fire Stick, plugged in, and the nice thing is the USB gave power to the Fire Stick, so all the cables can literally be in this area. So if it's on the ceiling, the only cable you're really going to need to manage is the power cable, or if you also have a audio cable coming out of here into your surround sound or whatever. But I feel like if this is going to be near the wall, the sound from these speakers is going to echo off of the wall anyway and give you a good enough surround sound. Now, if there's nothing plugged in HDMI wise, this is just going to be a plain screen. The only downside for this, there's no inbuilt operating system. It's just a projector that will project anything from the USB port or the HDMI port. So make sure you are aware of that. If you're going to be running your PlayStation, your Xbox, your PC, it has to be plugged in with HDMI, so I definitely recommend getting a stupidly long HDMI. But as you can see on the screen, we're going through some of the settings here. You've got different color settings, different profiles, all of the features that you can change the color if you want to enhance the colors, or you want to change the reds, the blues, the greens. I don't know why you would, because it's pretty much spot on anyway. I keep mine all in standard mode. I don't really change anything. I keep it all as it is because it looked good as it came out of the box. Then obviously all the other settings that you got here as well. So there's plenty of things to go through and make this personalized to your own taste. On the controller, you've got the keytone button, which allows you to change the angle and the width and the height and everything of the projector on the wall, because it's not going to be perfect every time. And then that is pretty much everything that I can explain about this projector. There's nothing really fancy going on. There's nothing crazy. Like, there's no built-in software, so I can't show you all the apps that you can download, whatever. It is just a projector for whatever's plugged into it. So that is it. But when it comes to gaming, when it comes to movies, this thing definitely goes above and beyond. I will say in daylight, it's not going to be the best. I don't think any projector out there in daylight is the best, because at the end of the day, you're projecting a light source, a screen or a wall that's already got light on it. It's going to dull the image, take the color away, brighten it way too much. So you're just going to be faffing around with your settings again and making sure that you can get the contrast better and dull down the brightness to make it sort of look a bit darker on the wall. There's so many things that in the daytime, just don't even bother. A projector's for nighttime. You know, you don't go to the cinema and they leave all the lights on. They turn them all off, it goes pitch black, and then the projector comes on and it's crisp as anything. That's pretty much everything I can say about this. It is definitely worth the price point, I will say, apart from the fact that there is no operating system inside it. If this had its own built-in operating system, I could probably justify the price a little bit more. And this usability, because of the fact it doesn't, all you're going to have is whatever's plugged into it. If you've got a cinema room, or you're looking at making a cinema room, then I can 100% say 4K resolution, 240 hertz, then this is definitely something for you. Or if you got a HDMI sort of splitter, you could have everything plugged in a box in the attic, or in like a casing, wherever you're gonna place the device, and you could have it all set up and just have like a controller that changes different HDMIs or whatever. Then this thing definitely would be worth the price. It would be an absolute asset to anyone's gaming room, anyone's cinema room. That's what I'm excited to try and do, is build a somewhat cinema room in our bedroom. So there might come a video later on in time where I show off this a bit better when it's all set up properly. But for now, this is all I can say about the product. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video and it's gave you a little bit more insight to the GamePix 900. And hopefully this video actually finishes and I can get it posted, because I had time doing it and it's just like, I want to get it done now. I want to get it over and done with and just move on. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe and notification bell, because it really helps the channel grow, which we're trying to do, and build a community of like-minded people. And everyone out there, I appreciate you all already for subscribing. We are like 99% unsubscribed, so I really would appreciate it. But other than that, capture, create, captivate, and I'll see you all in the next video.